G'day viewers, I scored this PC today. Looked like a good score, next to nothing. Had no DVD, no optical drive, no hard drive, and no power supply, no graphics card. But that wasn't the problem because I've got those. Just trying to boot it up. It seems to run fine, but it gets stuck on this screen. Gets stuck on that screen. That's all it does, just get stuck. Doesn't go any further than that. I'll open it up and show you the hardware's in there. From about 2009, this PC. Been as old as my first scanning rig is. It's a nice motherboard. This case is cheap and flimsy though. But it's not too bad. Got a TV card in there. I can rip stuff off VHS too. Analog TV card, just what I needed. And it's an FM radio as well, which is really cool. What model is it? I can't find what model it is. Doesn't say. HT 3.0 AM2 Plus. It's an AMD CPU, this one. My first AMD I've ever come across. It's AMD Athlon X264, which is AMD's first dual-core CPU from 2005 or 2009. That dates from that CPU. This is, I'm pretty sure could be a AMD specific board. I'll have to Google this board if it's it will support an Intel CPU. Just see if I can make it better, because the other one I've got a newer CPU which is an Intel, which is better. If it runs in this, it'll be good. But I'm not too sure. That's only an AMD socket, AM2 Plus. Yeah, that's the AMD specific sockets are different to the LGA and all the other CPUs that Intel made. So this might only be an AMD only board. Here we go, GA-MO770-USB. That's the mother there. Model number. It might only be an AMD specific board. One Jeff thing, branded CPU cooler. Yeah. I put the hard drive in it, the GPU, power supply and the optical drive in there. Everything else just come with it. Not sure why I get stuck on verifying DMI pool data there. Never had that error before. I'll try and get to the BIOS. In the BIOS. Okay, now let's start with the yep, everything's right. The date and the time is correct. The batch is still good. Everything else seems to be good here. Everything's on E. Let's just load optimize defaults and see what it does. There we go. It's not set up to save yet. We'll try to see what sort of newest AMD CPU this board will support. Control A. Ooh, hyperdrive. Interesting. There's your hard drive, F4 to exit. The verifying DMI pool data. I don't know why it gets stuck on there. Well, I've got 4 GB of RAM in it, only come with 1 gig, but that's alright, I've got plenty of DDR2 RAM within me. Looks like I get stuck on that screen. That's all it does, just get stuck there and doesn't go past that screen. Wonder what's causing that. Interesting. I've got the Linux Mint, actually Ubuntu Studio in here, 64-bit, but I can get this thing to boot up. If it gets past that screen, I should be able to boot it up. Had Windows 7 Professional, but that hard drive is long gone. That's alright, should be a good Linux machine when I can get it going. Okay, I think there's something wrong with the boot thing on this BIOS, because it sees the hard drive. I tried all SATA ports. Possible solution to fix it. I went to the boot menu, okay. Selected the hard drive in the boot menu. No, still no go. I've got no activity from the hard drive whatsoever. That's weird, because the computer sees the hard drive is physically there. Interesting, it's not working. Maybe there's something wrong with the SATA controller of this board. Let's try it again. Everything checks out fine, it sees the hard drive's there, so I say it's got Linux on it, it should work. Even if it doesn't have any hard drive in it, it should still boot anyway, and just say there's no hard drive. F12, just mash that key again. So I hear that little buzzer there beep. Yeah, there it. That means it responded. Hard disk, there it is. There's my main drive there, the Seagate. Now normally it should just work and boot, but nope, no boot. The hard drive doesn't even have any activity. It's spinning, but I don't hear any actuating of the head. So I don't know what's going on. And the board could be stuffed. I don't know. That's weird. That's got a flopper disconnector on there. IDE. Oh, it's an IDE. Oh, I can try an IDE hard drive in this thing then. That's alright then. No flopper drive on this board, just IDE. Just gets stuck. That's weird. Go back to the setup here and just check the BIOS. I did take the BIOS battery out and defaulted everything. See if that made a difference. Let's have a look. This is when you overclock it. Master. Yes, detected it. Had worked. 200 gigabyte. It's already found it. First boot device should be hard drive. There we go. That's it there. F10 save. Save that. Setting us, so that makes a difference. Now I see what the hard drive does. Still no hard drive activity. Nope, no hard drive activity at all. IDE channel 1, there's no smart on that hard drive, there's no hard drive plugged in there. Interesting. Let's try this boot menu again. Wonder why the CD-ROM on a floppy was boot priority. Oh, it glitched. What's going on there? Just pressed F12 and all of a sudden it glitched. The hell? It's supposed to be my boot menu. Why did it glitch up? Responded. Alright. Now I should boot. No, I don't hear any activity from the hard drive. I wonder what's going on there. Maybe I'll try an IDE drive then. I've got to get an IDE cable now. Got to get an IDE cable from somewhere. Should have got rid of that PC I got from the side of the road. Should have got rid of it there. Ah, bugger. Don't want to take that one out apart now. I'll just try an IDE hard drive in it. See if that makes a difference. This Samsung ship point. Let's see if that works. Here we go. We'll boot off that. It does. Huh, I'll be buggered, it does too. Well, the one with the SATA settings in, the SATA doesn't work. The Windows installation doesn't belong on that hard PC, but it worked. It's only Windows for that PC. Okay, let's try and boot off the other hard drive then. No, it's gone back to default. So it boots off the IDE. Okay, so you must have the previous owner must have had an IDE drive in this thing. That's odd. No wonder to detect to get which hard drive it is. Only works on IDE. Interesting. Back to the Seagate drive. No. This isn't a healthy hard drive either. It's got about 4 bad sectors on it. Just ignore my boot command. The bastard. Just ignore on the SATA hard drive like there's not even any SATA on the motherboard. Sam scum. Let's go with startup repair recommended. Not that the hardware is the same, it's completely different hardware, but it actually works. It's interesting why the SATA's not working. Oh, we're buggered. It's only a 32-bit Windows. I don't think it's I think it's Home Edition. This is a professional edition of Windows 7 on that product key. You're going to try and see if that product key will work to the version of Windows 7 Pro I've got with that motherboard. Well, this works. Yeah, it's just the thing that sucks about Windows, because it's, well, probably Linux too, Linux does as well. You have to install it from scratch on the actual hardware, because it's got data that one there. It's way different hardware, so it's probably not going to work. Its architecture is built on that foundation, not this foundation. It's not going to work, but we'll see what it does. Don't know if that's going to work, but let's see what it does. Will it boot off that hard drive, or do I have to do it manually? Let's see. Looks like it's ignored it. Tell it manually. I've got to tell it manually to boot off this hard drive all the time. This has to be done every time, so I've got to fix that in the BIOS. Never come across that issue before. Will it work? Or will it not? Oh, it crashed. No, need new glass on my window. Looks like that window's broken. But it proves that the IDE works normally, but the SATA part doesn't. Play around the BIOS and see what's going on here. Oh, yeah, okay, well that bit works, but the boot part seems to not want to boot. Master. This hard drive here worked and everything else. I don't know why this hard drive doesn't work in here, but it works and everything else. Audio channel 1 master. Smart capability, enable that. First we do the device's hard disk. There we go. That's been prioritised. There we go. Right, now we'll save that. Save and exit. Let's see if it defaults to this hard drive now every time. That's a first I've come across that. Never let it be such an issue. Interesting. Now it's off the Samsung drive. It's not going to work because, as I said, the computer's way different. I was hoping the SATA bit would work properly. I ain't got any big hard drives on the IDE one. Anyway, we should get back to it. Well, that bit works, just the SATA bit won't work. Interesting. Interesting. Well, that bit works, but I don't know what. Yeah, as I said, the SATA bit somehow doesn't work. Seems to see the hard drive, but it just won't boot off it, even when I tell it to boot off that hard drive. Just not booting off it. And then for a fact, that hard drive was fine because I worked in other PCs. I tested it. Interesting project this is going to be. As I said, it's my first AMD motherboard I've come across. Although I Google that motherboard model number later, we'll see what AMD, the latest AMD board it can support. I wonder if they can even support a quad core. Very interesting. That's it. It's going to take a while, I think. Probably still not going to work because, yeah, as I said, it's just not the same hardware. This Fusion motherboard's fine, but As I said, the SATA just isn't working. The cable, could be the cable, but that SATA cable I'm using worked fine on another PC with Linux on it. Let's see here. Repairing disk error. It just might take over an hour to complete. Wow. It's a cool running CPU though. People, the reviews said it gets a bit hot like a Pentium 4. Might take over an hour to complete. That's too long. Wow. Okay, here we go. Last successful boot time, 1st of the 3rd, 1980. Jesus. That's a long time ago. I don't think it's... nothing was found damaged, so... Okay, let's see what it does now. Probably won't boot anyway, as I said, the hardware is much different. And I might try getting Windows 7 Pro, install that from scratch on the hard drive, but then see if that motherboard's product key still works on it. No, different hardware, as I said. But at least it's going to boot up. It's just the I can't use a SATA hard drive for some reason. It won't let me. Interesting. Anyway, that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.